On this question of using metrics to help the team, my first thought is that our shift from project work into the Agile team is all about iterative learning, right? And we do that empirically, this idea of empiricism, of making observations of the facts on the ground. How are things going as a team? How are things going as an organization? And so data and metrics is a key part of that. Making observations and utilizing those observations to draw conclusions. Where are the opportunities? Where can we innovate to make things better? When it comes to team level metrics, if they are team level metrics, it's important that we affirm that those metrics really are for the team and for the team's improvement. And what we love to see at a leadership level is leaders who can come in and support the team on their data and their conclusions. All of this is transparent, right? Transparency is one of those three legs of the Agile stool. And so in the spirit of everything being transparent, the team's metrics being up on a wall or in the virtual space, anyone can see the team's metrics. But we wouldn't like to see a leader come into the team and say, I observed this in your metrics and I think we should do this. Those metrics are really for the team, and in between the data and the action that we want to take, there's an essential step, which is the interpretation of the data. What does the data mean? What's underlying the data? We might say the backstory behind the data. And it's the why. Why are we seeing the data that we're seeing? And so on a high-performing team, and I've had the pleasure of being part of a couple of very high-performing teams, the team members know what the backstory is. These team members are committed to each other and to their product, and they will step into the retrospective to a person. They'll know what the issue is, and they're ready to discuss it. And so it's that opportunity to get to that level below the data and really interpret what's going on. Without that, we do run the risk of finding other causes and other solutions that might not really get at what's going on. And so those are my thoughts on the importance of that team level data. To that end, one of the things I did in the last year that I was working at Wells Fargo was develop a very custom workshop in a tool called Mural, in which we looked at empirical retrospective, right? How can we combine these two things that I really have a passion for, of metrics and data, with that crucial conversation around innovation that the team has once every 2 weeks or once every iteration. And so looking at the team's data as important input, there's the quantitative input around those metrics, there's qualitative comments that the team members bring, and using all of that, synthesizing all of that to come to good conclusions in the retrospective. I would be remiss if I didn't touch on a bit of my philosophy about which metrics I think are important. I think a team starts out wanting to go fast, and they might have an undue focus on velocity. And I would generally coach a team away from an initial focus on velocity. The far greater opportunity is to focus on team's predictability, which measures the points that we deliver over the points that we plan, right? So if we deliver 18 points against a plan of 20 points, that's a 90% predictability. And that's a great way to reflect back to us as a team. How are we doing? How are we doing at planning? How are we doing at execution? And if we're having challenges, if our predictability has been consistent and then suddenly drops, what's at the root of that, either in the planning or the execution? So by focusing first on predictability, the team gains confidence. They begin to work out the maturity of their practices. And the side benefit is we gain credibility with stakeholders. Our ability to even do release projections, where we project scope in a certain time frame, is based on that credibility of using predictability to improve.